are, and I welcome everyone to our exclusive webinar on Portugal's D7 versus Golden Visa, which is better and why. My name is Afsana Rahim Lakhani, signing in from Lisboa. I am the moderator for today's evening. This webinar will help you understand the upcoming changes, answer all your queries, and work out the optimal route for you. TLG's webinar brings us together with experts from residency and citizenship sector, property market, immigration, and media. Key topics that will be discussed today are investment, Portugal Golden Visa 2022, the details of Golden Visa and its success to date, overview of 2021 real estate market, forecast of the year ahead, what makes Portugal the most attractive EU destination amidst the pandemic, and also the impact of the changes in Golden Visa rules on real estate market when we are also talking about D7 and how this category works. So before we dive in into our webinar, let me do a quick temperature check. We will request you to turn your audio and video off at all times. Kindly keep your phones on silent mode to get most out of this webinar. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type it in the chat box. We have time for the question towards the end. You can also type the questions or any comments on the chat box of any of the social media pages that you are in. Let us start with our webinar by watching a short video on Portugal. Fahim, next slide, you'll have to play the video. I think we're still seeing the disclaimer slide. Do you mind changing the slide and playing the video, please? Yes, perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much for playing the video. As the video talks about how diverse this place is and Lisbon is, similar to that, we have a diverse group of panelists today. So we have Mr. Chandrasekhar here, who will be talking more about D7 and Golden Visa. So before we introduce all the panelists, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome each and every person here in the room. So let me first start by welcoming our four amazing speakers. We have the speakers, which are Joao Villar Condodo, who will be joining us shortly. Who is the CEO of the Star Portugal, who will not be here sadly, but Mr. Joao will be representing her. We have Mr. Chandrasekhar, who is a visa advisor, who will be talking more about visa and education to us. And we have Mr. Rahim, who will be talking about education, about investment fund. So let's welcome Mr. Chandrasekhar. Visa and education
Thank you.
advisor is, your gateway to information about settling abroad, studying abroad, or traveling abroad. This channel is a reflection of Mr. Chandra's first hand experience of having lived and studied in the US, UK, and Europe. A former journalist, Chandra Shekhar believes in giving 100% genuine information. So let's give the platform to Mr. Shekhar.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak in this forum. I think Portugal is an amazing country. I have been to Portugal 4 times in last 6 months, and the weather is nice, and it is very multicultural. And I mean, I travel extensively across Europe. So the best thing about Portugal is the weather and the people. It is multicultural, and the other thing is that the immigration system is very uh, what do you say, very transparent when you compare it to other countries. So the processes in general are easy when you compare it to other countries, and there are several pathways to migrate to Portugal and ultimately settle in Portugal. You mentioned about D7 visa and golden visa. I think both the visa categories have their own advantages. D7 is for those who have a retirement income, a passive income, and in some cases, remote workers are also eligible for D7 visa. Uh, but with golden visa, the biggest advantage is that you not only move towards citizenship, you also can invest on real estate, which can be a kind of investment not just for you as an individual, but in the future of your family. And also, the biggest advantage with Golden Visa is that you don't have to live in Portugal for long. I mean, a week will suffice over a period of, I mean, 1 week every year. That is fantastic, because with a lot of other visa programs, you have to be in the country for long, which is not feasible for, especially for those who already have running businesses in their home country. So I think the biggest advantage with Golden Visa is this. And second thing is that your access to Schengen zone. I mean, you can travel to over 2 dozen countries of Schengen zone. And also, if you are thinking in terms of investing on your child's future, then golden visa is a very good scheme, because Europe has been the home for science, arts, and culture for several centuries, and university education is very good. And Also, what Europe offers is Erasmus exchange, because this is something which I tell to most of my clients, because a lot of them approach me that they want to invest on golden visa for their kids. So that is the biggest advantage, this Erasmus exchange, the mobility which Europe offers. So I think D7 and Golden Visa are both excellent programs. Only thing is that the investment required with Golden Visa is high, but then the returns are also good.
All right, amazing, amazing. Thank you for this, great comparison between D7 and Golden Visa. And even in Golden Visas, we have like different kinds of modes of investment that one can make. So, talking about Indian market per se. So, what is your understanding of the Indian clientele, and what do they look for mainly when they are wanting to either migrate or invest?
See, again, after the second wave of COVID in India, that is April, May 2021, I noticed a pattern. I thought that this second wave will not be good for immigration business, but I realized that the queries for golden visa or queries for from people who want to settle in Europe increased. Okay, because I mean, this second wave of COVID had a very bad impact on, especially in big cities of India. And now people are looking for alternates. Uh, and one is safety. So that way, Portugal is good because it is one of the safest countries in the world. According to Global Peace Index, it is the third peaceful country in the world. So that is the advantage. Second is investing on the future of their children. Uh, so I see India has a great potential. So far, this golden visa thing, most of the investment was coming from China, UAE, and Turkey and Russia. I think I would say in next 3 4 years, India can be in top two or top three in terms of investment in golden visa.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. And we have been seeing that, right? We have been seeing so many people recently applying for golden visa, or like, so many different categories, and there has been a lot of migration happening. So, in general, like, talking about golden visa, how has been your, like, experience so far with regards to even different visa categories? So, how is your experience coming in place, especially with regards to Portugal, as compared to other countries? So, how is Portugal being seen in the eyes of Indians?
See, Portugal is trending, okay, and most of the people who approach me want to go to Portugal, not necessarily through the golden visa route, but in one way through D7, D2, through study route. So Portugal is definitely trending, and now Canada is a dream country for people who want to settle abroad, and many of them, those who have not been successful with Canada, want to are opting for Portugal. And I mean, I give this logic to my clients that Canada has a potential for about 400,000 immigrants every year. Okay, whereas from across the world, 4 crore people want to go there. That means the possibility of getting the PR ultimately is 100 out of 1. So why not invest in Portugal where the chances are high?
Mhm. Absolutely makes sense. And also, I think with regards to, like, comparison, a lot of people also would not want to see the snow that often, like Mr.
Yes.
Rahim, who is
Yes.
also Canadian, migrated to European region. So he'll be the best person to speak more about it. Do you want to jump in here, Mr. Rahim?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for and also thank you for the excellent video that you shot a couple of months ago. The product has really appreciated the work that you guys do in terms of promoting Portugal, in terms of promoting other golden visas. Also, there are some things that like uh, recently from the which the
Rahim, your voice is unstable for us. Do you mind connecting another device as well?
sorry, I'm on the go, so I don't have another device. Uh,
Okay, okay.
but if you want, I can re-log in.
Yeah, or yeah.
Are you
Okay.
Chandrasekhar?
Yeah, now I can hear you. It is like sometimes it is fine, but sometimes it breaks. Okay, maybe you can try again. I mean, let's see.
Try coming closer to the. Yeah, no. One thing I was mention that uh, I was at a conference recently with the AESP, which is the business arm school at Universidad de Lisboa, and you will be surprised on how many things are in the pipeline that is going to now India and Portugal in terms of investments, in terms of migration, in terms of student, in terms of the development of the number of courses, that is eligible. India has multiple levels of memorandum of understanding. The minister here had recently visited India post COVID to reestablish and reinforce some of these MOUs. So you will see now a lot more than what has come through the last few years. More than that, if you look at the Indians in Portugal group, which is handled by the embassy of India to Portugal, you will now also notice that the ambassador has been touring many different cities within Portugal, make the connection between uh, Bangalore and Braga, Lisbon. I'm just giving, but uh, they actually go and create industry hubs inside Portugal, bring amazing pool of talent from India to Portugal. And it's not just a matter more of you don't qualify for that, so you come to Portugal. Uh, in a way, that's how it is. But today, Portugal is where it was, let's say, 15 years ago, and there was not too much required to be. But now you have the ILTS and point else. Portugal will probably have that in a few years also once the migration quota builds up. But being Portugal, I think, given the family value, it has a very offer, especially when it comes to a European citizen down the road and an access to 8 million people versus Canada that only has a pool of 30 million people. So the market is quite large. So a country like India that 1.2 billion dealing with union million. I mean, that's a very, very strong statement for 10 years now to create these bridges. Of course, there are other countries in Europe zone, European Union zone that has a long history of business relations, like Germany. But I think Portugal is now that upcoming player and increasing its size. And that's, to be honest, that is why the investment and the immigration borders are so widely open, and there are so many categories from retirement seven to startup to capital to pure investment to real estate. You name it. There is so. I mean, now is the time. I don't know. Do you agree with that? Chandra? Can you hear me?
It was a bit unstable for us, but we got the gist of your understanding of how immigration is working towards and having millions of people migrating and with regards to golden visa as well and the investment that it's making. So we got the gist of it. However, it would be nice if you can be connected still to a better network. All right. So coming back, sorry, are you still speaking, Rahim? I think he's trying to connect to a better network. That's fine. And coming back to Mr. Chandrasekhar, and you have been traveling to several European regions, and do you draw any similarities of immigration with other European countries as compared to Portugal? And where has the most pool of people, not just Indians, but in general, going? And also, my other question was about social media. How social media platforms are a bigger strength to attract the and right clientele. So if you can respond to both of these questions, please.
See, I mean, if someone asks me which is the best country in Europe to go, I say Germany because it is the biggest economy. But if someone says which is the best country to, I mean, in terms of ease of migration, then I say Portugal. Um, and the logic behind is this. I mean, I told you that Germany is the biggest economy. Now, I have been trying to find something more about Greece. Okay, for example, Greece also has a golden visa, but then people are apprehensive about Greece because Greek economy has not been in a good shape. So Greek program is comparable, And then also about Malta, but then with Malta there has been some issues because OECD is not very happy with Malta's golden visa scheme. Um, so I don't think there are many alternates to. Spain has a golden visa scheme. Again, the taxation rates are very high in Spain. For example, I had a client who was planning to go to Spain, but he did not go because of the tax. And now, in terms of social media, unfortunately, I mean, I do my videos in Hindi, okay? I mean, good quality content in Hindi is almost absent. I mean, there is some content in Hindi or in Urdu, but I think it lacks quality and research.
Mm.
So I think in order to attract more clients, or I mean, I think more than attracting clients, it is important to give them the right information.
So true.
Okay, it is important that people should be able to take informed decision. So I think there is more need for well-researched content on social media, uh, in Hindi as well as in English, targeting the Indian audience. I mean, there is content on social media, but it's mainly from Americans or from the British. Uh, Somehow Indians cannot connect with that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
also,
I totally agree with you with regards to not all information is knowledge. So, not and information can be misinterpreted and misrepresented. So, it's good to provide accurate and genuine information like your portal and this webinar does, right? Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekhar, with regards to sharing us about the comparison between D7 and Golden Visa. As per the understanding here, it showcases that D7 is the category which has to provide passive income for the 5 years of residency till the time you get your citizenship, versus Golden Visa is where you make investments starting from 280 to 500,000, and you can either invest in real estate or the fund. And we have another expert in the room who will be talking about investment fund, which is also a route to have your Golden Visa under 500,000 category. So, thank you, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Any last comments from you before we move on to Mr. Rahim?
no, thank you for inviting me. And it is for the first time that I'm participating in a webinar like this. And thanks again. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you for being there and thank you for your presence.
Thank you.
So, hold your seats and get ready for our next panelist in the room, which is Rahim Lakhani, who is here to discuss about the newly launched 7X Fund, the team's track record, and its investment strategies. Mr. Rahim is proud to present 25 million. I think the voice is echoing. Rahim, if you can mute yourself, please, for a second till the time I'm. Yeah. All right. So yes, as I was speaking about Mr. Rahim, who is proud to present 25 million euro venture capital fund named 7X Portugal Fund, which is a golden visa immigration and investment solution managed by the Lakhani Group SCR. He's the president and the CEO of the Lakhani Group, also a seasoned real estate investor that owns and operates a multi-million dollar portfolio of properties in Portugal, Canada, USA, and in India, and invests in the market of distressed asset and restructuring of companies in advanced operational stages. Along with his engineering degree, he has a real estate financing, taxation, and investment degree from in University of Lisboa. So has extensively worked in European, American, Canadian, and Asian market. So Rahim, the forum is all yours, and here we go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Afsana. Sorry for my weaker connection here. I guess when you are traveling, you have to live with what you get. So, well, we are here actually live from Toronto. Me and Afsana both are here. We have been actually on a tour, working with several investors who have shown similar interest the way that we have in Portugal, from an investment standpoint, largely. The way we look at Portugal is not just on the basis of a golden visa as a good product, but to be honest, our fund and our projects are structured largely on the investment side. Golden visa turns out to be just a bonus, that's like the cherry on the top that you're getting. But really the products that we have here, Quinta do Portobello, which is a luxury condominium, which is a serviced condominium, is uh, uh, is a product that is very, very strong in terms of the rentability that you can have, in terms of the appreciation of the asset that you have. And 7x, which is a fund that is authorized by the Portuguese Securities Commission. That is another great product that we have launched and are continuously raising private equity capital. We are licensed asset managers in Portugal, and our image on the market is exactly what we have delivered in the past. We have been very successful in delivering excellent quality projects to investors. We have been very fortunate to have a great set of private joint venture partners that has been truly believing in the projects that we have. Sorry, I can't see my slides. If you can see on the slides, yeah, thank you. I will skip to the parts that are the most important, because I believe Mr. Chandrasekhar has covered the whys of Portugal. I think we all know, but just to touch base, the angle that we you know really project when it comes from an investment fund is the stability of the country. It's the stability of political landscape and the economic landscape, and that to us is the most important factor in all of it. Um, Other factors are good, but this is one of the factors that affects the investors the most, on how is the stability of the country. Is my investment, which is so far off, does that make sense? So that is one of the biggest factors. If you can go skip a couple of slides there, I'd like to talk about the fund, and give the audience a bit more on what the fund comprises of. So yeah, this slide is perfect. And so the fund itself is a 25 million euro venture capital fund, but in all sense and purposes, this is actually a real estate fund that is not only eligible for the golden visa piece, but our target return on the investment is 7%. Um, we mainly invest in hospitality related projects. So the villa project that we have is a resort project. It's a 3-star resort to start with, and as we move ahead, it will become a 4-star when it's in the operational stage. And currently we are working with some of the best developers in the country to organize a beautiful community center around the villa project itself, that will have several great amenities, such as your standard swimming pool, of course, your tennis court. But more important than that, we are focusing on the green aspect, we are focusing on the eco aspect, we're focusing on what Portugal really has to offer on the wine aspect. As you know, Portuguese people are great wine connoisseurs, and it's a great wine culture in the country, and we are benefiting because of the location of our project, and this is a great feature of it. So these are the kinds of projects that we invest in. Apart from this, we are also looking at a development of a student housing project near one of the largest universities in Portugal, which is called Nova. Nova has started. It's a new university affiliated with all the major faculties. The main focus of this university is in the business sector, so economics and business is the main course. But it has started now with almost close to 3,000 students, and it has a huge capacity. But the student housing, the professional student housing layouts are usually missing. If you can go back to the same slide, please. So this is one of the big reasons why one should look at investment in the fund versus a direct asset as well. The great benefit also lies in in the fact that there is no capital gains when you invest in the fund. So when you receive an annual dividend and the profits at the end of the seventh year, there is 0% capital gains. When you invest in a real estate project, you will be paying seven and a half, close to 7.5% in closing costs when you buy a villa or buy any other apartment or parking unit or whatever. During the maintenance of that 7 year, there is a 25% um, taxation of that real estate on the income of it as well. And then in the last year, sorry, 28%. And then in the last year, when you decide, let's say after the seventh year, you decide to sell the asset because of appreciation, then there is a capital gains of 25% also. So real estate purchases are expensive in Portugal, but the fund is a vehicle that the government has put together where there is zero tax, no tax on entry, no tax on maintenance, and absolutely no tax on the gains of the profit. So you get to keep the money that you have so wisely, and so with your hard-earned money, you don't need to pay the tax. Of course, if you conduct business internationally and you're not a tax resident in the country, um, you will have to do global taxation based on the treaty that your home country has with Portugal. So there will be a declaration that you have to make. However, within Portugal boundaries, there is no taxation. So this is a great tool, and you can invest as little as 100,000. But if you would like to make a golden visa out of it, then it's a 500,000 minimum. Currently, we are doing a capital raise, and we will be reaching our targets well before the 2023 July deadline. And this product is actually a very, very good product for the Indian, subcontinent, the South Asian subcontinent in total, largely because of the fact that there is very little awareness or knowledge on how the rules and regulations of the country is. I think the biggest hesitancy is the lack of investment knowledge that people have, and that is why people hesitate to make that investment, hesitate to make that plunge. Well, the government has authorized the fund. We are audited by international firms. We have to declare every 6 months the net asset value of the investment unit that you purchase. We have to do an appraisal by qualified independent appraisers. And we have a supervisory board that is regulated and mandated to report to the Securities Commission about anything and everything that is concerned with the fund. And we have a very, very strong compliance team that has a very strict process on the whole cycle of the investments, not just on the entry of the investment, but also on the deployment of the investment. So there are quite a lot of features that are in the benefit and the best interest of the investor. We charge a very mere 1% annual management fee to keep the administration of the fund, pay salaries, office rent, stuff like that. Our main profit is only received after a 30% hurdle over the 7 year period. Our profit as an asset manager is when we have already delivered a good profit to the investor of 30%. Below that, the asset manager does not make any money, and only the maintenance fee, which is the annual maintenance fee. So that's it. I think those are the very simple ways. When you make an investment into the fund, there is no deed that you have to worry about. There's no qualification of the property that you have to worry about. There is no maintenance of the property that you have to worry about. It's a simple investment. You put the money in your account in Portugal, and you make a single transaction into the investment fund. You receive the certificate from us, and you apply for your golden visa. There is nothing whatsoever that you need to do, or you need to have your lawyer do it on your behalf, or any of that sort. It's a very simple, straightforward process, and the entire process can be completed within 10 to 15 days of your first intent to subscribe to the investment fund. So yeah, that's it. Simple, easy to do, no complications whatsoever, and we're here to contact and receive any questions. So back to you, Sam.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for enlightening us about the investment fund and what are the best routes to have the golden visa as well. So we do have one question. I think it's regarding the immigration. So I think Mr. Rahim will also be able to talk about it. So it's from Mr. Khurshid Alam. He's asking, he has a UAE golden visa and is looking for Portuguese passport. What is the lowest investment that should be okay to have the Portuguese passport?
Uh, so there is a thing about lowest investment. When you are looking for a lowest investment, mind you, you are also looking for a lower return or a risk in your investment, because of the fact that the lowest investment in Portugal are in the interior regions of Portugal, where the population is less than 100 people per square kilometer, and that is a risk to an investment investor from our lens. We largely invest in the core areas like Lisbon, where we know that the project will always appreciate, especially even if it is not appreciating, especially in a downturn market or an inflationary market like today. Uh, the exit is very, very strong. So I highly advise those people who are looking for the lowest investment to look at investment with a caution. Of course, the lowest investment is zero, because that would mean that you actually come to Portugal, get a job, and be a resident. And in 7 8 years time, you have your passport. Okay, that is literally the lowest investment, zero. When you are looking for a quality investment, it is €500,000 in the fund or in the purchase of a quality asset, like luxury villas in Lisbon. So that's my answer.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And if we can also have any questions with regards to investment fund, so how does this work? Like, what is the first step that the person has to take while also researching about the investment fund? And what are the comparisons that he has to make? And what will you suggest to a novice investor?
Yeah, I mean, like I explained, the process is very straightforward. Contact us. We have a due diligence team and a compliance team that will essentially onboard you. We have all the processes very, very well defined. We know all the documents and everything that is required for achieving your goals of investment and your goals of golden visa. So we will provide these services to you at no cost, as you are a valued client of the fund, and we will navigate you. We have a very wide variety of investors, so no matter which country you are, probably have a good amount of experience in already dealing with the client from those countries. We are representing over 10 different nationalities here, which are the main nationalities that apply to Portugal. So we will definitely have an experience with your country in representing other investors. Of course, every case is individual and it's a case by case thing, but we will have those discussions with our legal team to onboard you in the most succinct way possible. Okay, back to you.
And most of the people also would want to ask about the experience of the asset managers to manage the fund. So with regards to the previous real estate or a development or any experience that you have had in the past to have managed any asset or any fund or any
Of
property.
course. Yeah, so this actually is our fifth project in Portugal. So there is a tremendous amount of experience that has gone into managing funds for private clients. Prior to this, we have always been in the whole private joint venture world, and also in the private family office investment world. So managing funds for development projects is something that we have been doing for a very very long time. We have delivered excellent projects before, and we are continuously to develop. What we like to do is invite you to Portugal, come over, have a look at the projects that we have currently under construction, have a look at the projects that we have that are currently under operation, and then you decide for yourself. Meet with us, meet with the team, uh, understand Portuguese culture, knowledge, the place you are investing in, and let's have a conversation. You don't need to make the investment in the day one. You don't need to make an investment under the pressure. The best way to do it is that we welcome you to Portugal. You come over, understand the way that things happen in this country, and then we have a conversation if the investment is the right thing for you, or if there are other vehicles that are better suited for your personality. Okay, so that's it.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Mr. Rahim. Mr. Shekhar, do you want to ask anything or discuss anything here before we wrap up today's
Yeah,
webinar?
Rahim, you mentioned about the fund. Okay, now how much is the minimum investment on this fund?
The minimum investment is 100,000 euros,
Okay,
and for the golden visa, a minimum of 500,000 euros is
okay.
applicable. Yes.
And I mean, I mean, will the process be quick if someone invests on in this fund?
The process is actually much quicker. Again, because of the fact that there is no property involved, we are already qualified as an investment fund for the golden visa purposes. We are already, doing business for this. The government knows about it. The government has authorized us on this, so there is no qualification. It's not a discussion. Is this a 30-year-old property? Will it qualify? All of those things are completely gone in terms of have I made the right investment.
Okay,
You are not even looking at which city. We are telling you that we will make multiple investments,
okay,
and so when you come, we will show you what our current projects are, but those may not be the projects that we will invest your money into, you see.
okay,
But we will invest in projects that have given us a really good return in the past, and we will continue to invest in those amazing projects that has delivered and added a great value to the infrastructure of Portugal.
okay. And what is the annual return, if I may ask, please?
Our target return is 7%,
Okay,
and the past projects that we have done have gone in the double digit returns as well.
okay, okay,
So of course we don't promise to investors, as the nature of the vehicle is venture capital. We cannot be that this is a guaranteed investment. However, you have to look at the track record and make that judgment call by yourself.
okay. Thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, Mr. Chandrasekhar and Mr. Rahim, to be a part of this webinar. I hope it was an educational one for everyone. Thank you to the team who was behind this to make this webinar a great success. We look forward to interacting with you all again. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.